Neighbors down there in Florida because they don't know what's to come.
Right.
But it's going to be bad.
Lots of prayers going out for those people down there in Florida for sure. A lot of them evacuating here to Georgia. First Alert meteorologist Ella Dorsey is here. Ella, this is a very, very powerful storm.
It sure is, and it's going to bring multiple threats to the state of Florida in the coming 36 hours. Already raining very heavily from Tampa all the way up to Gainesville, Florida. The eye of this storm now less than 200 miles away from Tampa. Here in North Georgia, we're not seeing a single thing. You would have no idea that there's a Category 4 hurricane in the Gulf. The southern half of our state seeing some cloud cover. That's about it. May see some clouds down to the south of I-20 this afternoon. Other than that, no impacts here. Maybe a little breezy tomorrow. That's about it. 80 degrees today. It is going to feel fantastic. Tonight, our lows dip into the mid-50s, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, many of us will be in the upper 40s, low 50s. So for your weekend plans, just know in the morning, it is going to be quite chilly outside. Let's talk about Hurricane Milton. It was a Category 5 hurricane when we got to work this morning. It is weakened slightly. The defined eye wall definitely weakening as this thing moves. It's likely to continue to weaken just slightly. But guys, winds are still 155 miles per hour. So it is still forecast to be a major Category 4 hurricane at landfall after midnight tonight. The track has shifted slightly to the south of Tampa Bay, which is good news for areas like Tampa, Tampa Bay, Clearwater, and St. Pete, because the strongest side of these hurricanes is always down to the south. However, this is a worst case scenario for Sarasota, for Venice, and also the impacts have increased in Fort Myers, which is still recovering from Hurricane Ian a few years ago. This storm will move across the entire state as a hurricane. Look, tomorrow afternoon, when it moves back out to sea, it's still a Cat 1 storm. So areas like Orlando, Melbourne are going to see hurricane conditions tomorrow morning. Big improvements by tomorrow afternoon and evening. So it's really from this afternoon to tomorrow afternoon where conditions will be the worst across Florida. Here's the new storm surge totals. I want to show you this because Tampa was supposed to get up to 15 feet of storm surge. The National Weather Service has now decreased that to 8 to 12. I think they could even continue to decrease that just a little bit. 8 to 12 feet is still an entire first floor, but it may save some parts of Tampa, highly populated areas of Tampa Bay, from seeing significant flooding. However, Sarasota, Siesta Key, Venice, still 10 to 15 feet of storm surge, and Fort Myers forecast to get 8 to 12 feet of storm surge, guys. That's significant. That's an entire first to part of second floor of buildings along the coastline completely underwater. In addition to that, the flash flood threat is extremely high. The same high risk for flash flooding that we had here with Helene, that is what is forecast for Tampa all the way over through Orlando. I know millions of people evacuated Tampa, but many of them left and went to Orlando. Orlando's not going to see the winds, but they're going to get 10 plus inches of rain, so significant flooding is likely in that area. So that's going to be another huge aspect through the overnight hours. For us, again, no impacts, but our coastline is under a tropical storm warning. This also includes parts of the South Carolina coastline. It is going to be quite breezy tomorrow, but I just looked at max wind speeds. I think they're going to be less than 40 miles per hour. So certainly way lower than what we saw here in our state when Helene moved through a few weeks ago. It's just too bad we're having to spend all our time on this hurricane because our weather here is going to be fantastic, guys. Beautiful over the next 7 days. A little bit cooler as we head into the weekend. Really warm for the Pride Parade over on Peachtree TV. You can watch. We'll all be out there on Sunday. And then I want to note major cool off next week. Upper 60s with morning lows in the low 40s by the middle of next week. First Alert